And as Maine continues to struggle with affordable housing options, emergency shelters across Maine say they are seeing an increase in people looking for shelter. One bill being introduced to state lawmakers is looking to give shelters a boost in funding from the state to meet that need, something shelter leaders tell me is long overdue.
Leaders at Tedford Housing in Brunswick say they, like many other emergency shelter operators, are swimming just above water.
And we're hopefully going to be close to breaking even this year. You know, if you look at the southernmost shelter in the state, the northernmost shelter in the state, they're in trouble.
Executive Director Andrew Lardy says funding isn't enough compared to the demand they're seeing. A few years ago, they would have to turn away 70 to 75% of people looking for a bed. Now he says it's closer to 90%.
Many shelters are really struggling. There just aren't the philanthropic dollars available for them to chase.
Aside from donations and grants, 41 emergency shelters are funded annually with a $2.5 million state subsidy, which hasn't been increased since 2016. Now they're calling on lawmakers to make a change.
I think that that's why it was really important for us to start speaking up and really talk to our lawmakers about the fact that, you know, from a perspective of inflation alone, we really need to be able to respond to this. And
according to Maine Housing, the cost to operate each bed back in 2016 was around $16 a night. Now it costs an average of $102 a night. Executive Director Molly Feeney of Homeworthy explains state subsidies pay only $7 a night,
which leaves, that $95 for us to, in most cases, fundraise.
A bill introduced in Augusta is looking to increase the state funding to $19 per bed per night. While it's seen some overwhelming support already, written testimony by the governor's Office of Policy, Innovation, and the Future questions where those dollars will come from.
We know that that's not enough. And what happens is over time, shelters slide and slide and slide more into a fiscally untenable situation.
Emergency shelter operators like Lardy warn that failing to fund the subsidy would bring even greater long-term costs.
If shelters have to start rolling back their services, not offering as many beds or whatever, I think that's going to be a tragedy for Maine.
In Brunswick, Caroline LaCour, News Center, Maine.